What's up, everybody? We got some charts to look at today. We got some setups coming in. The parabolic bull run is just around the corner. It's all about what you're doing right now that's going to determine your future. I'm going to show you what I've been buying. I'm going to show you also what I've been just holding and stacking into just over time and what I'm seeing and why I'm looking at it. If you can get behind that, everybody, drop a 1 in chat. We got some people here early on in the stream. Everybody, let's get active. I got that link for you today too. Everybody that's been signing up for CoinW wants those free trading signals, free live trading streams, as well as the signals and setups and everything going on there. That is in Telegram. I'll show you where that's at here in just a second. But everybody, we got to get into this. We got Family Day here, Monday. Let's get into it. Everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. We got to talk about some charts today. Bitcoin, DOT, Avalanche, Near, Constellation DAG, BitTensor, Ondo. We got some incredible things that is happening in these charts. And the Bitcoin bull run, I'm talking like when the explosiveness comes out into these charts is just around the corner. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about it because we can see right here. This is the setup. I talked about it in the Telegram. I also shared it in the BitLab Discord. What I was looking at, these two levels below us, because good morning and happy Monday. I said, this is the chart I'm watching today with the most recent small Bitcoin retrace, creating a small time frame lower low, has suggested a likely washout down, basically a retrace, to the targets of 62.7 and 61.8. No telling if Bitcoin will hit both targets, but I expect it is more likely to hit at least one. The target up is about 67.9, meaning if it goes up instead of down. But even still, even if it goes down first, at some point we are going to have to attack this level. Resistance that is descending. That's the descending trend line back from March 2024, which is earlier this year. A pullback would be healthy here if price does rocket up to the 67.9 reason. We can revisit the potential pullback and breakthrough breakout targets or trades as they present. What we're looking at right now is we're seeing Bitcoin. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If we come down here, let's, for instance, on the 1 hour chart, what I was looking at is, and I've talked about this for over a year now on this channel, and that is when the price action has an impulse to the upside. When initially this started looking like a bull flag, but this started trading sideways. The second this broke this level right here, this level at $63,670. The second this area broke, this tells us that the bulls are no longer in charge. The bears are trying to make a little bit of a run. So what do? We're in a essentially small time frame uptrend here. But when you do have a breakout of a known level, which is this zone right here, 61.3 to 61.7, all of this support here, resistance, and look at these signals on the BitLab trading stack. Bearish signal ended up having consolidation before breakdown. Bearish signal right here, breakdown, bearish signal, breakdown. We got the bearish signal, a little bit of sideways, two bearish divergences, which is what this number 2 is right here. I don't know why the should have the bearish divergences popping up here. Computer might just be going slow, which I don't know how that could be. But we're seeing this breaking down from here. Even if we get a small rise, I'd be very cautious here. If we do get a small rise, and we're going to be getting into these altcoins in just a second. If we do get a small rise here, I'm looking for a target here at 62.7, potentially down a little bit further down into the 61.8. This would be a better retest zone all the way down into here. It would flush out more people. And it's not about being nice or, people are going to lose money. This is up to you. Every trade you make, every move you're making in this market, whether you're jumping in, jumping out, or you have a strategy to enter or a strategy to exit, that's going to determine how you truly move through this market. And this zone right here, I feel is stronger because when we look at this, if we turn off the indicators, this zone right here at the basically 62.250 up to 62.6 is just essentially basically some small wicks, especially if you look at this on the 4-hour time frame. Let's get over into where we see this large wick. There's not much price action that substantiated a lot of support in the zone. We did have this bounce here, so we do have this drawn out. and then the next level down, which is all of this support here, resistance, 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 resistance below, but resistance here. So this is telling me if we do get a little bit of a washout to the downside, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's probably going to present some setups in all of the tokens, all of the coins that we're going to be diving into here in just a few minutes. But when we're looking at what's going on, and we look at the coin market cap, basically market cap rankings, we're still sitting here, $2.23 trillion. The market's still super healthy. Bitcoin's at $1.25 trillion. Ethereum, 326 billion. BNB, 81 billion. Solana, 73 billion. Things are still looking incredible on these charts. And so what we're looking at, especially where we're at right now, nothing's different. If you look at this shaded box area, this is the halving, this is the halving, this is the halving, this is the halving. This shaded box is basically showing how much percentage we are into this next halving cycle, 210,000 blocks. It's roughly about 3 years and 10 months. But we're about 8% in. So if we take this as an analog and look at these previous cycles, look at the sideways action. Look at this, a sell-off into it, then sideways action. We had sideways action. You can't see it under my face here, but just take my word for it. There's basically small bit of sideways action and then rocket ship to the upside. But the point being, these are the two we're really watching. The market cycle was much too early back here. The market cap was much too small to really look at this as an analog for anything that's going on here. So looking at these last two cycles, we are very healthy. Now, in this case, we had a push up into it. In this case, we had the push up. This got a little too exuberant, got the sell off, and then the global economic shutdown. And similarly, we just had the stair stepping all the way up like we did back here in 2016 into 2017. This is similar to what we're seeing here with a little bit more of a stair step here, with a little bit more time, but that's okay because now we have the biggest financial players in the history of the world that are involved with Fidelity and BlackRock, not to even mention all the other ETFs. But the big boys are here now. They know how to essentially have markets do what it is they want. So let's be a little bit patient here. This is just opportunity. And when we look at this, at the where we're at right now on the monthly chart, this is the thing that we're paying attention to very heavily here. This is what we're paying attention to. The monthly chart showing this massive dragonfly doji. Kind of looks like a dragonfly, right? But what we're looking at is printing a dragonfly doji on the monthly. Remember, we have 5 more days left for the month. I'm at 30 day month. So yeah, actually, I can't remember. It's 30 or 31. We'll know in a couple days. A doji is a candlestick. I think it's 31 because 26 plus 4 is it be yeah, I don't know. Doji is a candlestick when the open and close are virtually the same. Meaning, see, the open of this bullish candle is here, the close is at the top. The wicks are how far the price action traveled within that time frame. So this is the open, this is a close. On this bearish candle, the open is up at the top and it closes down. That's what makes it a bearish candle. And within the time period of this month, price action moved above this and below this, but this is where it opened, this is where it closed. As you can see with the very tiny body, this very tiny body, as stupid as this may seem, understand this. As stupid as this may seem, every single candle, especially if you're looking at something like a monthly candle, on any time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour, it doesn't matter. Candles are giving you the exact narrative in that candle of who's in charge, the bulls or the bears, or is it neutral? In this case, on this monthly candle with this long period of about 170 or 170 or something days of consolidation, we're post halving about 130 days. But what we're seeing is the bears were in charge of this on the way down, but the bulls ate this back up. So what does that tell you about the intention of the bears? They tried, they failed on this somewhat medium time frame, medium macro time frame. This is very bullish for what we're considering where price action is going. This is why when we dive in here in a moment, we look at these altcoins that I've been stacking into, why we're looking for that next bullish impulse to come, because this market is about to get so exciting. And I don't want any of you to be chopped out of this market or to be behind, not having capital left because you made silly moves or you jumped out waiting for lower. The market right now is on the precipice of some of the most exciting price action that we see every 3.5 years or so. So what we see right now is an absolute bullish setup. And this is why we need to talk about these altcoins that I've been stacking into. And this is not financial advice. This is just strategy advice, what I'm looking at. It also fits my thesis. So you have to determine what fits your thesis. My thesis in this market is to make money on good projects and trade small portions of my portfolio while also stacking into larger positions for longer term plays for the majority of my portfolio. So this is giving us that signal that we are very likely moving into that next phase very, very shortly. We got 183 people in the room. My name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab stream. I'm getting down and dirty today. We're talking specifically about some different projects that we're looking at and why. I'm not just the chart, but why I'm looking at those. We're going to talk about some levels. We're going to be breaking it down. By the way, shout out to CoinW. We got the Telegram set up. Everybody, if you are here right now, if you've already signed up for CoinW, great. If you haven't, this is your opportunity. If you scroll down right here on the page, directly below, right here, it says Free Traders Group. Boom, this Telegram, click in there and join. And if you don't have CoinW, you can join CoinW through that link. Also, there's a link in there to join. You can also head over to I shared a tweet last week on that. Let me actually go. Oops. Let me go to that right here. Where are we at? Boom. Right here. This is that link. I'll share this live in the chat. If you deposit $100, you get $100. If you deposit $200, you get $200. If you deposit $3,000, you get $1,000. Deposit $10,000, you get $3,000. This is your money to trade. I don't get any of it. When you do trade, of course, I make affiliate commissions on the back end on volume. And that's why it's an incentive to me to make sure that you know how to trade, because I want to make sure that you all can make money in this market and you do it in the smart way. So you can sign up with this link right here. You can also sign up. Once you do, you can also sign up for the Telegram Free Traders Group, which is right here. And I'll just give you a little peek at that really quickly. Let me come over here to this right here. Where is my Telegram? I know it's on the screen, but I don't have it on mine. There we go. When you come to this Access to Signals Lab right here, that's where that link will take you. Just follow these steps. Step one has the link right there for you to sign up. You don't even have to go to that tweet that I just sent you. Sign up there. Find your UID, which is essentially when you log in, you'll see your UID, user ID number. And then once you get that, right here in the bottom, just type in /verify, and then put in your UID, whatever it is. It will automatically approve you. It might take a few minutes or an hour or so to get it all synced, and then it will send you over to the actual Signals Lab, which is right here where we've got it. There's obviously no chat in here yet because no, just rolling this out to the community. But we've got the general chat, the community signals. If you want to share your community signals, we got scalp signals that are going to be populating in here all the time. We've already got a bunch of different stuff in here. This is going to just continually getting filled up. I got a bunch of education stuff that's coming here this week. New coin listings, live trading sessions, which is going to be me. It's going to be Hash. It's going to be Dylan. I got Dylan coming on next week. Professional, awesome traders that show you exactly what trades they're taking, how, when, where, why, etc. All here. You get all access to this for free by signing up to CoinW. So get involved with that. Morel is our main guy, main mod in there as well. If you have any questions, feel free to either tag him or me in the general chat. But that link is directly below the page, just directly below the video right here. Just sign up right there, and it will also take you to the sign up link. Now let's talk about what it is we want to talk about, because we talked about the signal right here, the macro signal suggesting that this pullback has for the most part played out, and we're likely coming into that uptrend in the very, very near future. We can see right here, Bitcoin. Can you see what's in preparation? This is a more drawn out look at exactly what we're talking about. 124 bars, 868 days. Look, from peak to basically when this downward broadening wedge breaks out, this is the zone at which the parabola really started to form. We're sitting here right now. We're not yet confirmed as to when this breakout of this descending broadening wedge is going to, broadening channel is going to break out, but we are within the time horizon that is likely any moment between now. I would say between now and October 1st, it can happen like that. Anybody that's been in this market for any amount of time can tell you it might feel like doom and gloom, and then 3 days later the price can be up 40%, 30%, 20%. And in this day and age right now, with where Bitcoin's at, if the price action has a 20% move right now, do you guys understand what a 20% move over the course of a week would be? I mean, because this breakout right here, I mean, that was only 5%, and that was let's see, that was about $3,600. Now, if we do 20%, even if it's over a month, 20% would put us at now breaking into not only new all-time highs, but also starting that trajectory above this entire range that we've been in, above the previous price action all-time highs from the last cycle, above the breakout zone of this broadening wedge, also above this previous all-time high most recently right here at about 73.7, 73.8, $73,800. So it is going to happen quickly when it does happen, because the FOMO is going to kick in extremely fast, especially considering that there's so much increase in the USDT and USDC, the stablecoin market caps. And they print those market caps when people are looking to get into crypto. It could be somebody that's already in, but if somebody's trying to move capital into this market, they tend to position it in stablecoins, and then that stablecoin, those stablecoin market cap, that pressure is then used to buy up actual crypto. So the signals right now, as we just mentioned, macro showing that this reversal is starting to get underway. We're coming into a time frame that, whenever we break out of this descending broadening wedge, much like we saw back here, boom, that was absolute bullishness. And then we can see that the dollar, we've been talking about this for some time, the dollar has lost its weekly support level. Dixie free fall, the dollar index, the strength of the dollar free fall has started, and this is very bullish for Bitcoin and crypto. Risk, this suggests that people are moving out of safety with dollars, storing in dollar, and moving it back into markets. This is what we want to see. We want to see this breakdown. We want to see this continuation much lower for the dollar when we're considering the price action on Bitcoin going up. Now, we're about to dive into a bunch of altcoin TA. We're about to talk about some coins that I've been stacking into. I'm going to show you proof that I've been buying them. I'll show you a snapshot from my Coinbase. But then also, we got to make sure when we're doing this, before we get into harm's way, we got to make sure that we're protecting ourselves. And I do want to shout out Arculus, channel powered by Arculus, the best crypto cold storage solution out there. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10, LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off over at getarculus.com. It's my favorite crypto cold storage solution. Now, Bad Fox says it's getting exciting. Where's it? I can't see where it's at. There it is. It's getting exciting, so close we can almost taste the dopamine. I hear you. You know what? We got to make sure, as excited as we are right now, that we are prepared before it happens. Otherwise, we act emotionally. And that's why I want to go through some of these altcoins that I've been stacking into, talk a little bit about it. And some of the ones that I've been stacking into aren't going to be on this list right here, but I'm just going to show you here in the BitLab Discord, where I share my updates to the portfolio and everything. I said, lastly, I added some positions 2 days ago. Forgot to post it here. This is several days ago now. But we can see stacked in, 85, almost 86 more link. Got some Avax, got some Ondo, got some DOT. Stacking. I'm in here stacking. Also showing you the levels that we're talking about. This is why I love having the BitLab community in the Discord. If you're not involved there, make sure you can use that link to go and sign up with a huge discount and 15 days free. But looking at these opportunities, this is what we're talking about. When talking about DOT, okay? DOT, where is it at? Boom, right here. When talking about DOT, Polkadot saw a 7x increase in transactions. Now, this was a few weeks ago. This was about the end of July. However, considering that I just got back from Brussels, where I got to go to not only the ECC conference, but then also right as that finished, the Polkadot Decoded conference happened, where they had all kinds of different projects that are parachains building in the Polkadot ecosystem. Got to see Gavin Wood speak, the founder of Polkadot, as well as just tracking all the research I've been doing over the last, quite a bit of time. Polkadot, it makes sense that they're starting to see increases in transactions. They're doing interoperability. They've got BitTensor and Centrifuge and Nova Wallet. There's so much going on in Polkadot, and they're working to build interoperability. Now, I think that their price is criminally underpriced right now. I think that the undervalued, I should say, for what they're doing and what's going on then. And you're probably wondering, why the hell did 3.3 million transactions suddenly flock to Polkadot? Here's a short version of why. Because apparently it's not as dead as everyone thought. It's all because Play Mythical is live on Polkadot. So they got gaming. There's so much more than, like, for instance, when you look at Ethereum, it's not just Ethereum. There's an entire ecosystem built on top of Ethereum. Similarly with Polkadot, there is an entire ecosystem that they're also compatible in EVM, which is Ethereum virtual machine. So you can do a lot of interoperability between Ethereum networks and Polkadot. Now, when we're looking at that, we consider also that, for instance, right here, everything breaks on all these other chains. Solana, I'm not going to hate on Solana, but let's be honest. Solana's had a lot of issues with getting basically throughput issues, get crashing, having to be reset. Alpha airdrop suggests here that Polkadot is truly maybe one of the only scalable chains. I mean, I think there's several other, but in terms of this capacity, I mean, when you consider how much money global derivatives, global real estate, global debt, global stock market, global money supply, gold, and this is essentially what, $2.4 trillion. That's what this is. 2,435 million. That's what this is. If you can read this, 2.4 billion, I should say, $2.4 trillion right now in the crypto ecosystem. And we're talking about onboarding this massive amount of liquidity. It is paramount that the chains that really start taking huge, I don't want to say aggressive, but there's a huge amount of money flow or assets that come in to utilize a blockchain. It's going to be very important that there's scalability there. So when we consider that, let's consider that. I think yeah, that's it for that. But let's look at Polkadot on the chart and realize that when we look at this, just notice that if you take this from the all-time high to where we're at now, it's 91% down from all-time high. Now, if you were in any ways excited about this price action right here coming up, and you felt like you missed out, and this came back, I mean, double bottom essentially, but we can see what they're building. Do they do KOL stuff? Sure. I'm also a partner with Polkadot, but I in no way, this video right now, this video specifically is because I'm buying into it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm buying into it, because I share that with you guys in the Discord. So I'm going to break down my thoughts on this. This is down 91%. We can see how much they're building on it. We can see that there's incredible other projects like BitTensor on it that are also going to take a huge, I think it's going to be a powerhouse in the AI sector. It's, in the Polkadot community. So considering that and seeing this bounce that we got from down here all the way up to this zone right here, that was a 40% bounce off these lows that recently happened. We're getting a little bit of a pullback here. So what does it look like in the near term? Well, we have this larger broadening, a descending wedge that we had talked about, falling wedge, and we did break below it. Great, but now what we have set up is an Adam and Eve pattern in here at the top for the time being, unless we continue breaking further down. But as it stands right now, this came up and tested this previous support beautifully, and now is testing back in to likely down to, I would say, great opportunity zone 454 for the mid 450s. Because we have an order block right here, basically 446 up to 451, but the 382, which is essentially from the move this low right here, doing a Fibonacci retracement tool. The 382 is perfectly lined up right about where this order block is. So I'm looking at this zone, at this juncture of these two different signals is a great opportunity zone. Even though I stacked it the other day, it's dropped a little further. I may be adding some more when it comes down into the zone. Now, what we're watching for Polkadot is a bounce somewhere. Come on, a bounce somewhere in this zone here. A nice move up. A lot of trouble in here because of all these order blocks. So we have to pay attention to that. This is this order block and this order block. There's two red things that print automatically on the chart with the BitLab trading stack, showing there's a lot of liquidity interest there and there that just came into the order books defending this zone. So when the price action does move up into this area, just note when the volume does come up, when the price does come up into these order blocks, there may be a little bit of a struggle here. But once we break free from this, notice also what's also somewhat at an intersection. Oops, let me move this right here. Let me do it like this. Okay, yeah, there we go. Why did I do it like that? Because we see this level right here touching these levels right here. This had a little false breakout little bit of a false breakout, found support on it, and then broke down and found resistance on it. So you see, it's not always just going from the 2 points that connect. I like to go from the first 2 points that connect, and this is still a little bit off. So let's draw it a little bit prettier, a little happy bush. There we go, just like that. So rejection, 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 bounce, bounce, trouble down. Now we're having rejection at the same point. So it makes sense now, seeing that we had two zones right in here. It makes sense now that there's a little bit more trouble for this price action to break all the way up and just run away. What we're seeing now is that the stochastics have come down on the 4-hour. They're starting to round out. It doesn't mean that this drop is done, but it does mean that this is likely coming into the point at which we're going to get some level of a bounce. Again, when this does break up from this anywhere where we're at right now, 466, all the way down here into the lower 450s, we want to see a break of this line, which is at this point would be about 484. This line right here, this trend line about 505. And then of course, clearing, I would say above this zone right here, which is this range high. That would also mean that we've cleared these order blocks, which is about 537. But when we look at this on the macro, I mean, this makes me excited to know everything that they're building, to know how strong the community is, to know that they're also paying for marketing. That's not a bad thing. What other company out there in the world do you know that's successful doesn't pay for marketing? Okay. So that means that they have cash on hand, that they're trying to get people aware of what it is that they're doing. Now, I would be very questionable of that if it was a micro cap, if it was some other stuff. But the fact that they have such a strong community, they have legacy in the space with how, argumentatively, older coins, meaning coins that haven't just been pushed out. But I do think this right here, when we start clearing to the upside, I'm going to be very excited about this. So DOT is one of those tokens that I've been stacking into. What else do we see? I think Link was the next one up here. Boom. Let's go over to it right here. Oh, actually, Avalanche. Thanks to Avalanche, at some point in the not too distant future, I'll be able to trade a fleet of cars without ever having to physically have one in my possession. Partnering with Avax has let me continually stay up to date on all the incredible new things the ecosystem has. So what are they talking about? Well, they've been essentially putting registrations for Avalanche on the DMV, like in California, using the registration for these vehicles on the blockchain. We also talk about real world asset tokenization. We also talk about the fact that there's 3 different chains on Avalanche. I'm not partnered with Avalanche by any means. I think Avalanche is a fantastic chain. I think they're going to have some really good. I mean, they just had another great announcement a few days ago. It was the last week with Franklin Templeton, $1.6 trillion asset manager, tokenizing one of their funds. So there's so many different applications going on there. They have a pretty high level type of partnerships that they've been taking on, and the price has been relatively flat in terms of where we're at right now. So let's look at Avalanche and see what's going on there. Avalanche, let's go to all-time high here, was at 140. Boom, 140. Look at where we're at right now on the price action from this zone right in here. We are, where is it at? Right here. So we're about 81% down. When we dropped all the way down here, 88% dip from the all-time high to this low right here. When the price really got going down, I mean, all the way to this level, this is when that was a 94% drop from all-time high. And everybody thought it was over, except for people that were stacking into this bottoming formation here with the money flow flipping positive right about here. This was a great opportunity. And if you felt like it ran away, look, you have another opportunity at this same zone right here. In addition to the zone, what do we see on Avalanche? We see descending trend line from this point to this point, to this point, to this point. See, and now we have broken out of this. Be careful, because you did see this before. Fake out to the upside, then down. But where we're at in this market cycle is giving me more confidence each time we have one of these, bit of a breakout in this zone. And this went all the way down from 17.39 all the way up here to about almost $28. Let's see, I put my mouse over it. I'm looking right here. Open, high, low, close. That's what OHLC sounds for. High was, 28, right at $28. So we're on the 3-day chart. The order blocks are up here in basically the upper 30s, $37. These two giant red order blocks we need to pay attention to. But what does it look like on the 4-hour? On the 4-hour, it's looking like it's about to give us a likely opportunity to the downside. Now, does that mean you short right now? I would argue no. I wouldn't really be shorting right now. I'd be looking for dips to find longs because of where we're at in this market cycle. It can absolutely run away at a moment's notice. But when we look at this, let's go actually into a little bit smaller time frame. We got a bit of a shoulder, head, shoulder, right? So if this is the case, then as bullish as I am, and the fact that I did stack in the other day, remember these coins, I want you all to realize these coins that I was stacking into, this is in that longer term position altcoin folder that portfolio I've been sharing with y'all in the BitLab community. This does not mean with these specific coins, I'm not trading these. So I'm buying these, I'm holding them to sometime next year to take profits on largely. Now, the trading, you all will be seeing the trading and we'll be sharing all the trading of the different stuff on the smaller when we are taking trading plays in that Telegram group that is right below the page right here. Free traders group, Signals Lab. Click on this link right here. When it takes you over to the Telegram, you can see when it takes you into the Telegram, this access to Signals Lab. Just make sure, if you can't see if other people are signing up, just make sure that you come up here and the pinned message, click on the pinned message at the top. It gives you a little bit of info, but then it tells you step 1, register. If you haven't registered for CoinW yet, click right there. It's no KYC, no VPN, no all that. Just go sign up. You can deposit money and get free bonuses for depositing money. And then in addition to that, once you sign up and you find your coin, basically your user ID, which as you can see right here, you click this little token right there, and then it will pull up your information and it'll give you your UID. And then in the bottom here on this Access to Signals Lab page, to verify, and then type in whatever your number is, enter, and it will walk you through that process. So I just wanted to make sure you guys all know what's going on there, because we've been working on getting that rolled out here for some time, and I got some great education stuff going in there as well. Now, coming back over to Avalanche, head and shoulders, right? We've got 2 order blocks right below us, so I would not put it beyond, although we do have a target out of this. Let's go like this. The target out of this would basically be coming down to where, look at that, testing this previous range, this box that we already had on the chart that was all the support resistance. If we come back over here on the chart, there's actually even more support and chop zone right in here. We're on the, let's go to the 4-hour chart. So we can see there's a lot of interaction with this zone. So when we see, it's this zone, actually, this upper one right here, rejections, support. This is the level that now we have pushed above. It would not be so out of context. We wanted to just run away, even though I'm so bullish on this. You don't see it on the chart. My bad. What we're talking about right here, my apologies for that. What we can see right here is that this is setting that there's a target breakdown of this smaller time frame move to give another opportunity down here in the low 24s, 24.20, maybe a little bit further dip down here into 23.64. But I wouldn't put it past this market to have a less than fulfilling dip to the downside, meaning it doesn't fully realize this somewhere in this zone like this, and then do something like that. So we got to look for your opportunities, set your targets in there, limit orders in CoinW, or if you're on Coinbase, wherever if you're trading spot, set your limit orders or stop limit orders as a buy order in there, another buy order in there. So you're splitting up, you're breaking up those entries. That would be a great opportunity anywhere in the zone before this absolutely melts our faces. Because believe me, these markets are going to be doing some great things. We already talked about that. Let's actually come back here. Let's close it. Now, Ondo, of course. Ondo is doing some massive things. The RWAXYZ Ondo Finance is the leader in tokenized U.S. Treasuries with the combined TVL of OUSG and USDY exceeding $540 million. As the market cap for tokenized treasuries surpasses $2 billion, we're proud to pioneer the tokenization of real-world assets. Look at this. More than Securitize, more than Franklin Templeton, Hashnode, Open Eden, Superstock, Matrix Stock, Becked Finance, TrueFi, Wisdom Tree Prime. 540, and we all know, we saw the information in the last couple days, but over the last few weeks, BlackRock layering into this. This is why when we look at this, that's why Ondo is in here. I've been stacking into this. I told you guys about Ondo back in February. Now we have that large rise and retrace. This is what I'm talking about. Let's go here. Let's go to the daily chart. We talked about this back around here and got to ride this nice wave to the upside. And now, oh my God, it's down. No, oh my God, we have opportunity. When we see an asset that BlackRock is stacking into, that's something I want to get behind. Now it's going to have to, it's all going to be determined based on what your risk matrix is, what your tolerance is, what money you can allocate. But this is, I think, although it's one of the newer ones, I think it's on the safer side, almost in the blue chip category of assets in this space. But when we look at this, let's go down to the 1 hour. Is this having a bit of a drop right now? But look at this. How'd you know if it was going to drop? As bullish as I am, as bullish as I am, does that mean up only? No, it means I'm going to be looking for any dip buying opportunity. This gave us a triple top, very similar. Looks like a head and shoulders, right? The difference here is it doesn't have a bigger head, right? So it's shoulder, it's basically shoulder, right? Meaning they're all about the same height. But this is showing the same thing. Bulls tried, failed. Bulls tried, failed. Bulls tried. Look at this, strong impulse, failed. So the break of this, if you are on a 3-minute time frame scalping it, then this is where you take a short position to ride a very quick move down. And where would I look? I would be targeting the order block here, and look at where this is coming down into. And I wouldn't just target all of that move down to here. I would target this move down to this zone right here. Why? Because this is a previous range high. So I'd target this move here, and then I'd have my next target down here in the zone, which is this is coming right into. And look at all of this bearishness on this smart. This is a 1 hour clock, 1 hour chart. All of this bearishness. Now this doesn't make me mad because I'm so bullish on the midterm to macro positioning of this asset. Triple top coming into. Let's look at this triple top. Look, we rejected at this falling wedge, just like we saw in Polkadot. Falling wedge, rejected at it once, created a higher low, rejected at it twice. Okay. Now, if this does drop, it does start getting a little scary if we basically lose this sort of level in here, but we have this giant order block right below us. So if we do have the opportunity on Ondo to buy it somewhere in here, I'm going to jump at the chance. I don't know what you're going to do. I'm not even recommending that you do that. I'm just telling you the strategies I utilize to make money in this market. That's what we're talking about here. So Ondo is positioned on the macro sense to do very well. It's got a little bit of a washout right now with this rolling over. But I'd be looking if there's an opportunity, having a limit order here in the 60s, maybe even lower into, let's see, maybe, yeah, I would say, I would just target this zone. If it drops lower down here in the 30s, then bigger things are going on in the market. But man, I am bullish on this asset. 8 hour chart, tried to flip bullish money, positive money supply, but now it's kind of chopping. This feels more like a washout to the downside. I'd be watching for another attack up here at about 81 cents. And then this order block right here that intersects with this descending trend line right here, about 88 cents. The next level up, $1.02, and then it's likely that's when the momentum really gets taken into just up and away from there. So that's what we're thinking about with Ondo. Now let's go ahead and close. This is a massive spike in transactions on Polkadot. Polkadot doing good. Ondo, we talked about that. Also looking here, RWA tokenization is growing exponentially. Get Ondo before the banana zone, targeting $20, says not telling. Now, is $20 possible? I think it could be, but I'm not going to absolutely. I'm looking at stacking now and assessing those larger take profit zones as the market starts to show us what it's made of. Show us what you're working with, baby. Now, looking on, we can also see the world assets tokenization sector is projected to grow and due to $15 to $30 trillion market cap by 2030. So we're sitting here worried about this small pullbacks when this asset class is so small right now. It's only just begun. And look, 1.63 billion, 300. These are all, it's so small. And this doesn't even account for things like Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, Chainlink, which will be also one of those players that will have probably an enormous amount of real world asset tokenization on it. But Ondo specifically, especially with everything going on with the economy, tokenizing U.S. Treasuries, I think is going to be a major player in this. So that's why we're looking at it. And then we look here, Chainlink, that was the next one up. Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov predicts the future. Does he? Discusses how TradFi will soon become the largest user of DeFi protocols as real-world assets surpass cryptocurrencies in value. He also touches on the impact of CBDCs and the growth of blockchain. Okay, but we're focused on this. TradFi integrating DeFi and also this whole real-world asset. Now, considering what's going on in this market, considering going on how outdated the systems are of digitizing not only records, but also digitizing, bringing up to current standards, trading, we have it at 24/7 market that is transparent, that everybody can participate in. The integration of blockchain technologies and directed acyclic graph technologies and metagraphs and smart contracts, and using this within the global financial economy, in addition to data protection. There's so many different use cases that have yet to be fully implemented and explored. We're all talking about the adoption of individual people buying and trading. No, do you guys understand the integration of these systems with major corporations and major global institutions? That's when real adoption or real utility from these projects come in. Chainlink is one of the most integrated and utilized projects in all of crypto, more so even than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is incredible for what it does and has a huge market share because of security layer that it is and transparent layer that it is for money, for the store of value, for the protection of the time you've spent. Now, Chainlink, you can trade it, sure, but it's also an oracle pulling information from Web 2, merging essentially Web 2 and Web 3, also integrated with Securitize and Swift. And the integrations and how many different blockchains out there use a Chainlink is astounding. That's why when I'm looking at Link and I see Link having this small little consolidation, we talked about this, the breakout of this was very similar to what we see when we look at this on the 3-day chart. And we look at this massive, this is April 2022 all the way to October 2023. This is not even what I'm talking about. Let's go to weekly. Is that it? No, it's longer than that. Yeah, there it is. Boom. So this is that zone I'm talking about. This was 518, 520 days sideways accumulation before the breakout. Boom. Now we got this giant breakout. We got this head and shoulders, which we talked about as this was starting to form. We said, hey, man, we got to watch down here in these $9 to $8 levels, potentially all the way down, here to this descending trend line, which was down here in the sevens. But this got down right, basically tested. Look, this high here, this high. This is the high right here that it found support on. Boom. So now that this flushed out this breakdown target of this head and shoulders, and the market's only about to get more exciting. If this were to give us an opportunity down here, I'm selling my car. Okay. Like, I'm going to make assets. I'm going to make capital liquid so I can take advantage. I think it's less likely that we're going to get a move down in here. I think it's more likely where we're at right now that maybe we get a little chop down here, but do a little bit of work. But then coming up, something like, something in this sort of essence as this market starts to unfold into that, as Raul Paul calls it, the banana zone, that exciting sort of just pumpage Maximus, and you want to be involved somewhere here, not once we have this move up here. And then, you don't want to wait on that. You can do that if you want, but that's, again, everything that we're talking about here is strategy advice, not financial advice. But this is, now look at this. I'm just noticing this. This is why we do this together. I'm just noticing this. Let me put on my trend line here. We do have a bit of a trend line here. It's a little ugly, but we have a bit of a trend line there. And now we've got a bit of a falling wedge. I'm just noticing this on Chainlink. And look at this. It came down. We've got support here with the candles. We're right here in the zone of where all these previous lows were. So this is telling me that maybe we don't go through right now. But even if we got a small if we got a small pullback from the, small pullback from the zone that we're, look, all these lows, price action tends to have trouble breaking through where previous things have bounced. So this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, and this is coming right into that. This is telling there's a price memory level in the chart where the chart says, okay, maybe we don't just absolutely demolish through this right now. So we got a little bit of a reversal candle right now on the weekly. The weekly just started though. So let's go down to the 4 hour and look at it. So if I were to estimate what's going on here, let's do a fib from the low, option F, to the top, right in there. Okay, the bullish pullback would be here into this 382 target, about 1167. If we lose that, it's not the end of the world. It means we have a better buying opportunity. We've got to change the language in our head so we're not upset or excited about price action. We're doing it strategically, methodically. So if this, then that. If this comes down and bounces, great. But if it's just a retrace bounce like this and falls further, then I'm looking at this zone right here, 10.95 to $11 zone. This is where the golden pocket is. We can actually do this a little bit higher because this is that breakout point. But yeah, you know, it's basically, look, $11 to 11.12. If this does lose this 382 at 11.70, 11.80, I'm looking for an opportunity in the zone. And that's not the end of this attempt. This is a necessary and normal thing to happen on price action. You have a rise, you have a retrace to test the zone, and then you have the continuation. So what we're seeing right here, look, rise. We haven't gotten the either consolidation or retest yet. So we're getting a little consolidation. We're watching if we potentially come down to this 1172, and if we lose it, that's when you look for this as an opportunity. So it's not a bad idea to have a limit order set there to hit it if it happens when you're not sitting there looking. But it does look M formation. It does look like it's trying to set up for a little bit of a washout to the downside. But all in all, we look at this on the macro. I mean, it's the golden pocket from the all-time high back here of $52, $53. The golden pocket on the way up is $36. So even if we don't hit a previous all-time high, which I feel very confident that we will, I mean, that's still a pretty substantial gain from where we're at. You know, from right here, that's a 200% gain. If we go to the all-time highs, you know, that's a pretty decent. I'm expecting Chainlink. If I had to give an estimation, I'm expecting Chainlink to do somewhere between, it's hard to say how expansive this bull market is going to be. Somewhere between, I would say 135 and 175, which would be fantastic. If it goes beyond that, great. But I'm going to think moderate, not super conservative and not super bullish. I'm going to think about, okay, what's a level we can truly think about. So here's the top, here's the bottom. What does that mean in terms of the fib extension? So 1.618 is, which I think we'll have no problem getting to, is $85. 2.618, look at that, 135, 3.618, 184. So this box right here is where I'm assuming we will likely get our top. That's far too far out. Let's come back here. I'm looking at the dates on the bottom of the. So this is November 24. No, it's going to be beyond that. It's going to be. Yeah, so somewhere in here, I think, is where Chainlink's price is going to go. So this, all of this, even like a $6 move in terms of where it's at now, figure out what your strategy is to find your entry and what your timer is. If you're scalping it, then take your little scalps. And we'll be talking about those in the Telegram. But when we're talking about mostly position trades and longer term time frames here on the YouTube, then finding any sort of retrace here, especially if we create a higher low on that retrace, that, you know, and then on the breakout of this zone, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, the breakout of the $12 to $13 zone, because this has been so pivotal and multiple times here on the chart, that this is where we're contending with right now. A breakout of this, a retest somewhere, and a continuation would be phenomenal. So that's what I'm seeing on Chainlink. How many of you guys are Link Marines? Crypto Crank, BitLab Academy. What are your thoughts on Ben Cowan thinking ETH is coming back into its bull market support band that puts ETH at 1,800, 2,100? Well, let's look at ETH, and then we're going to look at one more token here. Maybe two more tokens. Ethereum. Zoom out. We're on the weekly. That's why I was like, why is everything so compressed? Well, I've had this drawn out for some time. This, if we do have a little bit of a rollover coming down into this 2366, potentially down here into 2100. I also have this marked out $1,800 to $1,900 on Ethereum. Um, that is a possibility, especially because of this sort of, this was kind of a bull flag. Um, but I mean, I have a hard time thinking we're going to go below this 2120 unless there's a larger, something that we're not seeing, something bigger at play, like a global issue that shakes all markets. If everything just kind of resumes as it is, I don't see us breaking really below 2300. Um, as it stands right now, there's a little bit of weakness here. We had this trade setup that we had there, but this, look, this pushed up. It's coming back right now, testing all of these ranges because it's just kind of trying to run away. It's like, no, 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 not ready yet. Getting kind of scooping up the zone. If this does lose, I'd be looking at this point of control on the BitLab volume. See this teal line? This is where most of the volume is traded. It's also very in line with where these tops are and where some of the support was. This would be a great target here at 2660. Potentially another opportunity down here at 2568 for a long. But I do expect if this comes down into here, I'd be less inclined to take a long coming into this because this would start to look like weakness to make that attempt down to 2359. So that's what I'm thinking there. So thanks for that question, Crypto Crank. By the way, how many people we got here? We got 115 people in here. Let's do a roll call. Everybody in the room, if you are here, if you're alive, if you can hear me, if your fingers can type on the keyboard, make sure you show some love. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. I'm trying to drop alpha for the things I'm looking at, the things I'm interested in trading, the things, also some of the things I don't own at all that I see that you guys want that I think are good setups. Because not everything's going to fit my narrative, but it's still a good asset, right? And that's why I go through so many different coins with you guys on a regular basis. But another one that I think is absolutely, and I just, there may be a coin listing on this one soon. I may have, I may have helped them get with an exchange, but we'll see. We'll see. You guys, I can't really talk about it. We'll see how that goes. But DAG, Constellation DAG, everybody, you guys don't realize they are channel partners, but that is not in any way why I ever talk about what's going on here. Shout out to who is that? Token Tide Temptress gifted 5 BitLab memberships. Big love to you. I appreciate you. Welcome all the new members. I appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate everybody that is already a member. All y'all's, as you become, when you become a member, that little beaker you have next to your name, the longer you're a member, it starts filling up. It starts changing colors. That's why you see them all. Everybody has a slightly different one. Look at Alexander G. He's got the full blue one now. She's been there a member since we launched the memberships here on the BitLab YouTube. But Constellation DAG, I think, is one of the biggest unsung cryptos in the market. It doesn't have any major exchange listings yet, like Coinbase, Binance, CoinW, all these the very broadly utilized exchanges. So when being in before that happens, and considering the fact that they are also, much like we were talking about Polkadot, but Dagnum here says we will be diving into how the future of blockchain is interconnected network of networks that will become a super chain, and they're working with Algorand and Polygon, basically Matic, and Polkadot, Avalanche, Cosmos, Definity, Constellation DAG, and considering their partnerships with IBM and Panasonic, and working on doing the Internet of Things with Panasonic, and also the Department of Defense, U.S. Air Force, working on contract and doing things with the Pentagon. So there was 2.9 billion records that were stolen from the U.S. government a few weeks ago. And that all comes because they have all this nonsense, old school, centralized stuff. Now, what protocol is likely going to step in to fill that security need? But also they're rolling out now, which is why we've been talking about it with you all, rolling out to retail, which is Constellation DAG, and how incredible their metagraphs are. So considering this, and then also considering the fact that Constellation DAG secures NCMS subgrant for Iron Spider blockchain initiative. Then what is NCMS? Says the National Center of Manufacturing Sciences awarded Constellation DAG subgrant for their leadership role in the groundbreaking Iron Spider program, focusing on secure, scalable blockchain. So having something that's vetted by the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Space Force and the IRS, and I mean, this is the type of thing that I'm interested in. So when I'm looking at this and I consider that they're also have been pushing, they've been driving this hackathon with $100,000 in prizes, but they're also now have all these different things building on this because they've only recently rolled out to the awareness of retail, but they've been multiple years integrated and working and being utilized by the Department of Defense. That you don't understand. I used to be in the Air Force. You have to have, when you do anything with anything outside of like if you're buying something or a contract, or things are so vetted when you do stuff like that. So how secure this is for end-to-end encryption and data transfer and how scalable it is. This is why I've been talking about it. And Drew from Blockchain Basement is the one that put me on it like 2 years ago. And I never started. And then I started looking at it, and then I got in contact with Dagnum PI, and he really said, it's like, yeah, I'm happy to get more people aware of this project. So, because of all these different partnerships, everything they're doing, and looking at what's going on this chart, just screams, just like we saw on Polkadot as well. We also saw it on Avalanche, but we're seeing this massive sort of opportunity with this falling down into this falling wedge, double bottom here, got a little bit of a lower low, but look at this, finding support in the zone, massive bullish divergence on the momentum. We see a bottoming structure here. It's starting to break out. Do you notice what I'm seeing? It's starting to break out. What the hell is on here? God dang it. There we go. It's starting to break out of this descending trend line here and make its way to the upside. Still has negative money flow, but the stochastics are starting to angle up. That's the 3-day chart. Let's get down to the 4-hour chart. It's looking like it may be giving its retest set up here very soon. We do have the smaller time frame. We do have a bit of a rising channel with an M formation right here. And look, we did break out of this after how long? All the way back here. The top of this was March 20. Was this March? Yeah, March 2024. We've had this nice consolidation breakdown here. Bottom formation. We've broken out. We're looking for a retest in the zone somewhere down here at 2.3 cents, potentially 2.4 cents. Even if we don't get that now, this right now, the setup for the macro is incredible. That's why I've been looking at these things. Excuse me. And then, of course, we got to talk about BitTensor. You know, the fact that Chamath Palihapitiya from the Unthinkable, I think it's called the All In podcast. That's what it's called. Also, one of the original main executives at Facebook. He's a huge VC guy, and he mentioned this in his podcast about how incredible what they're doing, building economies around collaborating to build AI. It's what BitTensor is. And what we see here, very similar. We have this sort of kind of a bottoming, but then we had this shakeout in the market that took price from 367 down to 161. So I bought somewhere over in here. And do you think I sold here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You let the price action play out when there's a shakeout there. If you have capital on the sideline, you add to the assets that you think are strong and are going to do well. But then nice 100%. Look at that. 100% bounce. Small retrace. This is what I was talking about, that rise, retrace, continuation. If you're going to have a bullish trend, rise, retrace, continuation. Retrace, kind of a little bit more scary, but then continuation. We're breaking past these previous highs. And we got the NVIDIA earnings coming up in 2 days. This may have a bit of an effect, very likely will have a bit of an effect on the AI marketplace within crypto. It's going to be all somewhat determined on if they miss their earnings or not. But all in all, this type of project is something, and I shared a video about it on my page a while back. You can see it here on, remember guys, if you haven't yet, sign up right here. If you've already become a CoinW member, click on this, get in the Telegram. If you haven't signed up for CoinW yet, remember, no KYC, you can do it anywhere, I think, except for the UK. You can click on that. It'll take you to the page, join, and then it will walk you through that process. But I wanted to show you the BitTensor video. I really do think it's worth a watch. It's this video right here. It's about an 18-minute video, breaks down why I think BitTensor is phenomenal and why I've been stacking into it. But look at this nice sort of macro W got the neckline. We're right at it. So this is what we're watching. If BitTensor is able to break up, I expect we're going to have some trouble in the zone because of all this giant order block. But we want to see a breakout and a test back in this region before continuation. The money flow here on the 4-hour has finally flipped back bullish, and it's all going to determine if we do get a pullback here. It's not the end of the world. Remember, a pullback at this stage in the market is another opportunity before it runs away. If this does pull back into this zone right in here, we're testing this zone, but this will form an M formation. So we will want to watch it a little closely for a potential another opportunity a little lower. But I do think that this is leaning more bullish and bearish, and the fact that this V-shaped recovery, how strong it recovered, now this rounding up as it stands right now, I think this is more of a hesitation before we get the breakthrough, and we'll likely hesitate and have some chop between now and the end of Wednesday, basically into Thursday, because Wednesday is that NVIDIA earnings report. Now, Near is the last one I want to talk about here. Near just kind of ping-ponging, boom, boom, boom. But similarly, I do think that this has kind of reached its bottom. Money flow flipped back bullishly, and the stochastics, look, on this little bit of a pullback here, the money flows flip positive, and the stochastics have come all the way down. So what is this looking like on the 2-hour? This is looking a little bit more bearish. Zoomed in on this. This looks like a kind of tiny little Hashimoto shoulder head, fat shoulder here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does come down and test into 463, potentially even down here to 450s, upper 440s, because of this large band that has had so much interaction with price action. And it's not the end of the world. This means we can just set a limit order and not even be stressed for the opportunity to pick up somewhere in there. If this is able to hold this level, then what we're watching for is a retest of this, a breakout test, and continuation. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Let me know how you're feeling about this market. Are you guys holding any of these coins that we've been talking about here? And Crypto Crank says, I believe the best AI project that has a 20x in it is Near. I love Near. It's one of my largest holdings in the altcoin portfolio. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good about this market. I'm feeling very good about this market. I'm excited for I'm excited when we get dips. I have some more money that I'm going to be allocating next week. So part of me wants this to dip. But at the same time, the market's going to do what it does. But if you can program yourself and make yourself realize you don't need it to go up all the time. We need to embrace the volatility in these assets. We need to champion that so that we can make sure we are prepared when they do come, so we can take advantage of it, not be taken advantage of. That's what this is about. Everybody, I love you. I got to run because I got to run my cousin to the airport. I love you guys so much. Oh, Ethan Smith says, check out Yield. I don't know what Yield is. Is it a tiny market cap meme coin? Let's see. Yield coin. You gotta tell me, what is it? Yield protocol. 34 market cap. Is this, Ethan? Is this really what you wanted me to show? $46,000 market cap. I can't bring that up. Sorry about that. Big love to you all. I appreciate the super chat though, my brother. And thank you for the gifted memberships. We're going to head over to the DGen Alpha now with Taco. Show some love. Big love to each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos.